And so when you allow enough time and have that, I guess, patience, and again, that's a big part of why in my first vlog I had said, why I waited so long to compete. I wouldn't have had the emotional security to deal with this stuff several years ago. I would have just been like, well, clearly that's a sign, right? I'm not meant to do this. Everything's screwed, poor me, and just thrown in the towel. And like I said, now, my perspective is different. And so it's probably getting a little rambly here, but basically just the point being that if you view things too short-sighted, I think you a lot of times squander a lot of opportunities and things that you could be doing. And I'm saying this both in terms of trying to provide helpful advice, but also humbly kind of admitting myself, points where I've hit lows and was going to succumb to this type of thing, or maybe even have in the past. I can't think of a specific example at the moment, but succumb to that short-term mindset and just let it prevent me from doing something I really wanted to do. And I really discourage that, to view the bigger picture, view things more long-term. And once again, like I said, with that aspect of dumb example kind of, but makes sense, like the fruit thing and calculating it, where when you have those little setbacks or those little question marks where did I do something that was maybe not optimal for cutting down, or I don't know, even say a week where like maybe you missed a couple of cardio sessions because something really important came up, or I can't honestly say that I've had those things happen per se, but that calculating the food was just one example where, again, when you're in a short-term mindset, you view it as, oh my gosh, the world's coming to an end, I just sabotaged myself, oh crap. Whereas in the case of just trying to keep a more positive outlook and a more longer-term mindset, it can be like, oh, well, I guess I got a little bit of a break for a week, and that will benefit me, and I'll use that to leverage where I'm going. Or, hey, I just gave my metabolism a little boost for a week by accidentally providing it with extra food, which should mean on the flip side that I'll then accelerate my losses. And so sure, it was a little hiccup along the journey, but I've allowed time for that, and we'll catch up and make up for it on the flip side. So that's all I gotta say. Someone like Jeff or whatever obviously has so much more perspective to lend on just that long-term mindset, but just was something that I guess was kind of really on my mind, both in terms of having just recently seen his vlog talking about that. Such good advice, so priceless advice. And then additionally, like I said, I'm going to be humbled because I know that I'm just barely getting into the most difficult part of prep. But I guess the point being, a level of pride, I suppose, is okay to say. There's nothing wrong with being proud of what you've accomplished, but a level of pride just to be able to say that I think that's a really important thing that bodybuilding brings to your life, when you're able to take that perspective that a lot of people, when they look as an outsider looking on the sport, maybe don't appreciate, just in terms of how that can develop you as a person, right? With anything else in life, I think just patience-wise, I can think back to the points when I was finishing my master's thesis, or ticking down the time on something critical, but yet it was just so tough and so draining to where you just wanted it to be over with, but at the same point, it's like you couldn't rush it, otherwise you'd screw it up. And I think it's the same thing with like prep now, is it's like I could accelerate things faster and be like, crap, I just want to do shows in 4 weeks and I'm going to speed everything up. And it's like, yeah, but then I'll probably lose more muscle, or I'll probably whatever. I still have time to do shows a little bit later in the year. Just going to sit tight and keep going at a pace that I think will get me there in time, but rather than rush it. And so I think that's such an intangible thing that you can learn from doing a bodybuilding prep. So on one hand, it's a pretty aggressive thing to do to yourself. I think it takes its toll on you, but I think it's also invaluable. I guess what it's been teaching me in terms of, again, just riding it out. And I mean, I can't tell you how many times you're home, maybe it's an evening that I don't train, and you're home, you got all these tasks you want to do, and your energy is just not quite there to do it, but you're trying to just find a way to do it. And meanwhile, all the while just thinking like, gosh, can we just get these shows over with? But yet at the same point being excited of, wow, I still got, so many weeks to go and so much more progress to make. and that's really exciting, but yet can we just get this over with? And so it's such a weird thing, and having that patience to just keep writing it out, something that I hope is going to serve me really well in future endeavors in life, and something that I really encourage if you're considering competing. A big part of me sharing all this is just to give you kind of a noob's perspective, right? You know, I've been around the sport for a while, but never actually done it myself, and so you know, I'm being humbled and getting to experience just how difficult all this is. Like I said, I think that difficulty, while really taxing on one, it's just amazing, I think, what it does in terms of the perspective it brings. So if you're someone that's thought about competing and thinks that it's just too much, don't forget the intangibles that I think it can teach you and provide, and just teaching you that patience to wait things out when you're just dying for wanting it now. Just sitting it out. I guess that's all I got. I'm rambling. I find it's funny during prep. It's like you lack the energy to carry on conversations a lot of times, and you don't want to talk. But then sometimes you just get blah, 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 rambling monotonously, and you can't stop. At least myself, anyways. But I'm gonna sign off there. Thanks if you made it this far. Hopefully, a bit or two this was helpful. Take it easy.